A very good morning to one and all. Uh, at the outset, I would like to thank the organizers, Dr. Bhatia sir, for giving me this opportunity today to say a few words on, I feel, a very relevant topic, which we have emerging technologies in education for sustainable development. I've been in education field since 2003, though in industry for 29 years, then for nearly 12 years as visiting faculty for nearly 15, 16 colleges. So interacting with a lot of students and now as full-time. So definitely agree with this topic, and it's very, very relevant and important. Now coming to what we talk about, sustainable development is, to get across to the point straight away, that why we considered it so important is that sustainable development is an awareness, a pathway, an approach to growth which we see. It's something to do the way, not only for our society, the civilization, the whole planet as a whole, to as an approach to growth and even for the betterment of mankind. Making this aware over a period of time, when years go by and we mature, we realize the importance. There are generations to follow, and we have certain obligation and duties towards them also, especially when you are married and you have children, and then you realize the importance of looking ahead. So it's basically, when you talk about sustainability, here we are looking at what the future generations should not be compromised in terms of their needs. So how to make this generation more aware of the resources so that we do not overconsume this. So this is just one part of sustainability, because it's a very complex and diverse subject in itself. If you look at sustainability, the aim basically again is to have a society where it's more peaceful. We are aiming at an overall that poverty should be eradicated. There should be communal harmony. We take care of our resources and create an environment, rather, where it is conducive at workplace, personal relations. Extremely important. Now, the way I told you, this message seeps in over a period of time, and why I found this topic very relevant is that when I looked back last 2 days when they asked me to speak about this, is that where has it touched me at a personal level? I remember doing a lot of visiting when I was in the tire industry, and then I was as a general manager for a hospital. So one Sunday when I'd finished my lecture at Yerla Medical Trust, and the director called me. He said, Bedi sir, we would want you to take, I was taking sales and distribution management. The next session, if you could take, the next subject is business ethics. So I told him, Babu sir, I remembered his name. I said, sir, I have never taken business ethics. He said, no, you can take, I think so, you can teach it. I said, I've been a sales guy throughout my life. And you know, the way the image of a sales guy is a hustler, and you talk about business ethics, this seems to be very far-fetched. That's exactly the point why I would want you to take business ethics. They pushed a book across the table to me, and I reluctantly took that book because he told me, and I took it home. He's saying, read it, come back to me after 10 days. So after a few days, I went through the first chapter, and I found it so refreshing. In fact, I came across 2 visionaries of our nation, where they mentioned over there. Then I read about Gita Sar, Parivartani Sansar Ka Niyam Hai. It was very refreshing to what I was doing exactly over here in my tire industry, office automation industry, now in the healthcare industry. But as I had grown up from a salesperson, I worked as a tempo salesperson selling tires. So when I read this book, I was general manager of a hospital. So I found that, is it relevant? They're talking about ethics, they're talking about sustainability, they're talking about future generations. Coming across Jamshedji Tata's uh, who founded the iron and steel mill at Jamshedpur, 1907, and later by the Tata management. Something was very relevant, that's why it caught my attention, because in my hospital, I had to deal with some very difficult situations in terms of labor unions. I've handled labor unions, militant unions, threats coming to agreements with labor unions. One of the labor unions is such which you need not do your HR, they'll teach you HR. So it's when the labor sits with you across the table, they tell you, you're the GM, now you talk to us. We know what you're drawing, we know what your staff is doing. And it can be very frustrating. How to deal with them? A hunger strike was going on, and how to deal with this? So what I found when I read about Jamshedji Tata's iron and steel mill, that the labor which was working there at that time, talking about 1907, 1908, they used to work for 10 hours, 12 hours. Well, the Tata management saw that. We're in Tata's right now. Tata management saw that. And somewhere they didn't agree to it. Like a visionary said, why are they working 10, 12 hours? Well, they're willing to work. But no. The average time they found that was 8 hours, where a person can contribute effectively, efficiently, and he can come refreshed the next day. So they cut down to 8 hours. What has happened that time has laid the foundation and the premise for 8 hours work and then overtime. So visionaries, not looking only at the current situation that time, but also looking into the future, that was generations ahead should be taken care of. So it's not sustainability which is a new topic to us now. There have been visionaries, and history is a great teacher. If you look back and see, there have been leaders who have etched a very deep mark in terms of their qualities. Another one which I came across, and then this same thing, before I go to the another leader, about sustainability, was when I handled these unions, one thing was there which I read in business ethics was be truthful, be frank, be straightforward to them. I remember having the sleepless nights, and when political parties came across, and it was very scary. But then I decided with my HR that I will face them. So I remember the whole cabin full of workers. And when I laid down, I put all the sheets in front of them in terms of that we do not want to remove the worker. We are not telling that we don't want the worker, only we cannot make him permanent right now, depending upon the business. So this is a charity hospital. So the political leader said, fine, it's okay with you. We thought that you're removing. I said, we're not removing them. They're khada badli workers. They are not permanent. So honestly, when everything was there, they saw the past records of the workers and they were convinced. So that everything was mutually done and amicably done. And they were happy, the workers were inside. I gave this credit to what I learned in business ethics. So similarly, when I started teaching, like I teach strategic management now in other areas, and try to pass it on like a lot of teachers over here, to the students, I feel my moral duty to tell them that it's not only what we learn from the books, I personally experienced that, which you should also implement when you start working ahead. And a lot of phone calls you get from students years when they passed years back, and then say, sir, whatever you taught, we tried to implement that. So truth, honesty, which definitely will help you. So this is something which you could contribute in terms of society today. Now, how we correlate to this topic today is that these are instances which could have been forgotten. But then, in terms of sustainability, or to make it a sustainable environment in the future also, education. So they have become in print media. So we are trying to tell to the students over there. So education is something that is extremely important today, where we as teachers or trainers can implement and try to communicate to the learner, the student, the people, and in terms of bringing in a change in the behavior. The basically is the idea, the aim, the motto, the objective is a change in behavior, a positive change in behavior. So that's okay, we change behavior. Then what about technology? Now technology also, in terms of, it helps education to enhance it, to make it more relevant, to distinguish, to differentiate the content, the mode of teaching, so that this generation can assimilate, try to understand whatever we are trying to convey to them, and make it more effective in terms of changing their behavior again, and also analyzing what has been the change of behavior. Now, in my current position as director for GNMS, and I found it relevant again, technology, because my colleague, she's for business school director, and she's heading IT for 20 years. I'm not good at IT. So when we have the brainstorming session, and I would want the institute to go ahead, I am a strategy guy, been in industry, so all the time strategizing how to make the faculty work, how to upgrade them, how to get more students, what about admissions. So then somewhere you get stuck, because in terms of how to convey, how to communicate, it could be social media, it could be the website, how to update it, it could be in terms of chat bots. So so then she tells, okay, you want this idea, we'll try to implement it this way. So technology and the educator coming together, and that's a win-win situation. I would rather say these are two major building blocks, the two pillars which can definitely help us achieve our goals of sustainability in future, in every area. So when you got an idea, you strategize, you educate, and you got the right technology, you could convey the message to your audience and bring in those behavioral changes. That's so very important. So this is a partnership basically between the technology expert and the educator. When they come together and they come up with different ways and methods and strategies to go ahead and get your goals, achieve your goals. Now again, since being 29 years in industry and now 10 years in academics full time, and I've been in an engineering college as placement head, so it goes back, and this topic becomes so exciting. And then I look back and see it's not only in academics that we try to change behaviors. We're trying to bring it, a change in terms of the way the customer is benefited also. A customer also a human being who should be satisfied, and then probably how to reach out to them in a very, very competitive arena where we call as the product life cycle is getting shorter, the maturity is less. So if you talk about technology and educators coming again, we have in corporate also. Like we talk about the retail industry. We got Walmart where you may go to D-Mart, and the husband and wife will have a very nice evening on Sunday, but they would want to leave D-Mart after shopping at 6 o'clock. And by 5:30 when they will go to the billing station, there are queues over there, and that frustration starts if you teach services marketing after 10 minutes. After 10 minutes of waiting in the queue, what the hell? It's such a nice place, but we're getting late for a party. So the marketer, the business consultant who's heading D-Mart or Walmart, he's in a dilemma. What should I do? The customer next time he won't come. We got all the facilities. He talks to the technology expert. He's saying, I got a solution to it. So what do? They have come up with the RFID system where if you pass through the green channel the way the airport, and then all your goods which are there in the cart, and they're scanned immediately by RFID, and the person sitting outside, immediately on the screen, the bill is flashed with the name of the purchases, 6,250 rupees, give your debit card, sir, swipe it, and you're out in 5 minutes. That service. Same thing, again, technology and the educator, in education, in corporate. What does McDonald's do? Again, I used to go to Pune to handle 2 franchisees early in the morning because we could have breakfast only on the way. This was somewhere in 2000, I'm talking about 2005, when I used to go to Pune to handle Pune market. In Katrej and Bhosri, we had 2 plants of our tire retrading. So our company driver and I used to go to McDonald's pick up. We had if you remember, there is a driveway, McDonald's at Kalamboli. So similarly, abroad also, when driveways are there, drive-ins where cars come in. So what McDonald's found, that in most of the joints, there is a queue of cars. And if it's the car which is in the 10th or 8th place, they get frustrated because they have to wait too long, and they come out of the queue and they go away. So you're losing a customer. So what do you do? So again, the marketing head, the business guy says to the technical guy, okay, IT guy, kuch solution hai kya? But definitely there's a solution. So again, the cameras, the RFID, every time the car comes in the compound, it picks up from the number plate, who's the owner, scans it, the databases goes and tries to understand in the last 6 months, how many times does this car come? And in all probability, if you see a person, 85 to 90% will order the same thing. So, last time he's come, 2 burgers, 2 Cokes, French fries. So, most probably this will be there. So, when it picks up the car number again, so the message is sent at the window, keep this ready. So, that is ready over there. The moment it comes to the window, is ready, gives it to him. He's taken aback and nobody has to wait. So, it could be a win-win situation in terms of educating in institutions or in corporates also. But then, as we are talking about enhancing our the element in terms of the students, our new generation today, I presume there could be faculty from different institutions that we see very different type of students or generations, especially after COVID. And now things are changing a bit rather. So it's an effort how to change them. But then again, how to get hold of their attention in terms of studies. There was a time when we used to go to the library, and library is a soul rather. You have to tell the student, go to the library, read books. So probably they got so well versed or probably accustomed to chat GPTs and Google Drives and Instagram. So how are we going to convince them? What is the way we are going to do in terms of not only, it is not the degrees that count over here, it's not the diplomas that count over here, it is the holistic development of your student that is the responsibility of every academician that we see. And that's exactly, if they are developed after 2 years, if it's a post-graduation course, the whole personality shift or a change will help when they go in corporate. The way our vision of Khalsa College, where I work, is that essence of education is service to humanity. It's from a guru's which it comes, that essence of education is service to humanity. So whatever we are giving them as education, the essence, we try to bring in a change in them. So when they start working in corporate or become entrepreneurs rather, they're serving society in ethical ways rather. So this thing is followed. And always remember, the way I read somewhere in Reader Digest, then if a husband and wife fights, don't fight in front of your small children. It registers over there in the subconscious. So similarly, when you're working, when the man is working hard, he goes home and he tells his wife, this is my pay packet. And it is only his salary. He doesn't do anything else in terms of, take cuts or commissions. The children are listening. He talks ethical stuff over there. He talks about hard work. He talks about commitment. He talks about his sincerity to the company. And the children look, the next generation looks at it. So why the father is doing it? Because he was educated in a management college or a college or school, and those values which have been imbibed in him are followed by the children. So this is something which could be a chain reaction today. With the new policies of education which are coming up now, and which you all will agree we are trying to implement in our institutions, where we have trying to understand that there are, this whole thing pertains to economics, environment, society. So involving students in green clubs, we're going to have gardens over there, probably plantation drives, go and clean the beach over there. Initially feel, what is this? Are they wasting their time? Okay, on Raksha Bandhan day, the girls going to police station and tying Rakhi over there. So at times, is it worth it or whatever? But there is a very deep meaning to all this. There's a very deep meaning in terms of, somewhere it goes in the subconscious. And whatever a person conceives and believes, he achieves. So if we are going to have positive feedbacks for them, we'll definitely can bring in the change. So the most relevant ad which you must have seen on TV, where the father is driving and the son is there, and at a signal he says, "Papa bada hoke main cycle ki dukaan kholunga." Beta aisa kyun bolte hai? But the way you are wasting fuel, which is so important, so fuel won't be there when I grew up. So sustainability in terms of bringing in that awareness of the scarce resources which we have, trying to bring in awareness of communal harmony which should be there, trying to bring in awareness in terms of if there is poverty, probably it was not your will to be born where you are. So probably you should be considerate over there. That's why, like, when many religions have something called a daswand, like we have, 10% of your income which you go for charity. So there's a meaning over there. Like if everybody starts contributing something to charity, so it becomes like a chain rather. Somewhere that satisfaction that comes, that whatever you give will come back to you again, rather than hoarding your money and one day leaving everything and going up, rather. So a very nice and human, area is touched when we deal with sustainability for the future, and definitely my eyes opened because of when I was in this position, and the relevance of technology is there, because you may have a lot. I'm a strategist. I may have a lot of ideas, but I may be poor in technology. So teamwork is the thing. Another thing which specifies over here is teamwork. You cannot achieve anything in your life all alone. If you say, I'm a leader, I'm going to do, no. It's not without teamwork. So that also, when you're going to, this shows two pillars, the educator and the IT guy, the technology guy. So that same thing should ring into your students, that it's a teamwork. When you get together, that's the way the success comes. That is the time when in corporate also teamwork will help the company to have a competitive advantage. Because today it is even companies which Fortune 500 companies have been wiped away because they may have the ability to have a competitive advantage. But today we are gone far ahead. It's not only competitive advantage. We need a sustained competitive advantage. In order to have a sustained competitive advantage, we need to be on our toes. We need to be human here, which that business ethics taught me that, I never had, I'm just sharing with you, any case against me when the labor was there. And one of the best things, before I end this, I will tell you, cite something which helped me about sustainability and handling human beings, was the Munjal Group Bauji from Hero Honda. If you read about him, iconic guy. If you speak about the senior Bauji, who set up the first plant of Hero cycles at Fagwada, Punjab. If you see, he himself used to make bicycles. And with his hard work, he used to say only one thing to worker when he set up that factory, that तू मेरे फैक्ट्री में आता है ना, तो एक ही काम कर खाली, जब ही फैक्ट्री के गेट के अंदर आता है, तेरे हर दुख, हर दर्द, हर चिंता बाहर छोड़ के आ, अंदर जब ही आता है, वो तेरे हर दुख, तेरी चिंता, तेरी वरी जो है, वो मेरी है, तेरी नहीं है. तो अंदर आता तो खाली साइकिल बना, हीरो साइकिल. Goes on to be in the Guinness Book of World Records for the highest manufacturers of bicycles, if you read. Why? Because तू 5 साइकिल नहीं बना, तू 7 साइकिल बना. और चिंता छोड़, तेरी बेटी की शादी, तेरे बच्चों की पढ़ाई, तेरे माँ बाप की सेहत, वो मेरा लुकआउट है. Did that iconic guy was a management graduate? Did he do his PhD? No. He knew that if I take care of my worker, see what will happen. And he was so iconic, and believe me, this helped me. He did one thing which I tried to implement. I'll share with you. Senior Munjal made it a point to attend the wedding of any worker's daughter or any wedding in the family. He's staying in a chal, he'll make it a point to go over there, go on the stage, however much busy he may be. ये वर्कर के घर पे शादी है तो मुंजल साहब बाबूजी जरूर जाएंगे. और only thing, if he's not well or there's an emergency, if he cannot go, the next day a car will go to that person's house. The bride and the bridegroom along the family used to be called to his bungalow. He'll have lunch with them. He'll take them back to the car and give them gifts. What a rapport. What a rapport. Any worker will go on strike over there. I tried to do it in my hospital. Whenever, worker, the first time worker came, sir, आप आओगे क्या? सिवरी में उधर शादी है बेटी की. I told my wife, let's go. भले एक 500 रुपए का पैकेट दे के आएंगे, मजा आता है. And you go, the love they give you. छोटी सी शादी, लोग है तो गेट तक आएंगे आपको मिलने के लिए. दैट कनेक्टिविटी दैट इज देयर, बट इट शुड कम फ्रॉम योर हार्ट. तो दैट सेंड्स अ मैसेज. हाउ सस्टेनेबिलिटी, ही विल टेल, अरे नहीं यार मैनेजमेंट अच्छी होती है, मैनेजमेंट गलत नहीं होती है, मैनेजमेंट बात करती है. तो वी शुड स्टार्ट समवेयर एज ट्रेंड सेटर्स. इफ वी डू इट, then our children will do it, our students will do it, and slowly everybody plays a role over there. So again, thanking you as I come to the end, the organizers, for giving me an opportunity for this topic. So thank you so much.